Hey guys, it's the Sweary Stitcher. So, heads up, I swear. If you don't like it, click off the video. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, all the prudes gone? Cool. So, just a super quick video. It's been forever. I've had a lot of time off, so I've done a lot of sleeping. Um, I have finishes. I have fucking finishes. Really? Everything is all discombobulated because I already filmed this. Apparently, I never hit start recording, so I've just been talking to myself. Fabulous. Anyway, first finish Tiny Christmas Sow by Armada Designs. I did it on linen from a Lizzie Kate kit. All I know is that it's called Amber and we think it's like 28 count. So I did it 2 strands over 1, half stitch, and I finally got it done in January, but in the first week of January, so I'm counting it as a 2018 finish. That one's done. I was so seriously hot by the time I was working on this end of the ribbon. I just had that burning desire to get this damn thing done. So I finished it in bed. Dangerous. It's past my bedtime. I finished it, put all my supplies away, my handy little toolkit. Thought I put them all away. I finished it on a Sunday night. I think Wednesday. We were going to bed. My husband was already tucked in and rolled over. And I see something in his blankets. Looks like a piece of Christmas tinsel. I was like, how the fuck did that get there? I didn't even decorate for Christmas. It was perfectly straight. Perfectly straight. Sticking up out of the blankets. I noticed the eye. He had a needle stuck in his ass. Luckily, I used the Easy Guide needles. So, see a little ball on the end? Didn't actually poke him in the ass. If you can see that. See that little ball there? Because I was tired of needles running up under my fingernails. I found a needle in my bed. Sticking up off my husband's ass. Be careful when you stitch in bed. Alright, so other finish. A few days after that, second week of January. Hands-on design. Just another button company. Squareology. Octopus dance. I call these my octopussies. The fabric is actually a very turquoise. You can't really tell. My usual studio has shit piled all over it, so I wasn't going to dig under it in the dining room. See how pretty that is? Fabric by Under the Sea Fabrics. Hey, Leslie. She's awesome. This is an opal Lugana. Couldn't tell you the color. Could if I had taken the time to get out the other piece I have, but it didn't. So, it's amazing. I used, let's see, for the octopus bodies, I changed all the colors. I didn't like any of it. And I don't have fancy floss. So I bought 2 skeins of fancy floss from Leslie at the FlossTube retreat. That's what I used for them. The octopus body is Raspberry by Nina's Threads, and the tentacles, which actually it starts up here at those little spots right there and then goes down to this pink gradient and then out all the way to this French's mustard yellow. That is Tequila Sunrise by Water Lilies, and it's amazing. And then for the eyes, I just used black DMC. I have to tell you a little story though. When I was stitching this, I forgot to leave a hole right there for one of the eyes. But I was already like 2 rows past it. And I decided since I'd be using black, I'd just stitch over it, no problem. And then it was a little thin, so I decided, okay, double coverage. So I did this way, this way, this way, this way. You know how in cartoons they show that things are dead by putting X's over their eyes? That happened. So then I had to take one strand of black and backstitch around each one, the box around each X, so that they don't look like cartoon dead guys. So this is done. I think I'm going to get a button for right here in the middle because I think it just needs a button. And then on the Squareology pamphlet, they had little super tiny little pink buttons that looked like bubbles. I really dig those. So it's not quite fully finished, but the stitching is done. All right, so WIPs. I have a couple. My father-in-law is currently at a skilled nursing facility, and the coffee cup is tiny, and their coffee, as he puts it, tastes like horse shit put in like a cloth and swished through hot water. So I take him coffee every morning. But he is having some depth perception issues right now. So he's doesn't want to drop a glass or ceramic coffee mug. So he wanted plastic. And guess what? These exist. It says it's dishwasher safe. You're right. Clear plastic outside. And there's a piece of Ada that's specially cut for it. And then the inner part that makes it show up. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to stitch. I got 2 of those cuts off eBay. This is one of the patterns. No. So I'm taking, oh, did I show you a pattern? Oh, it was so quick. Anyway, I'm taking their pattern just to see how big it is. And then I'm going to make up something to stitch on there. I was just gifted a pattern that said a wicked witch and a grumpy old toad live here. So I think one of them is probably going to be a grumpy old toad. And then the other one, my father-in-law actually got me a coffee mug that says, I didn't fart, my ass just blew you a kiss. So I think I'm going to stitch that. I think I'm going to stitch the words on for that on the other one. So that's one WIP. Oh, and I actually did a WIP list for 2018, and I have 9 WIPs so far. The 2 mugs makes it 11. This is one of my WIPs. This is my first exploration into linen. It's a sheep sampler, and it uses that fuzzy shit to give like little sheep wool. It's really cute. And I literally just posted yesterday and whatever the fuck that I don't understand samplers. I don't get the appeal. Somebody help me understand it. Look what this is. The fucking sheep sampler. Good news is I'm gonna learn some fancy stitches. I'm already doing satin stitch. And it looks like these are Algerian eye, which I did an approximation of that for the tiny Christmas. See those snowflakes? I couldn't do the snowflakes as charted because I was already doing over 1. And you can't do fractionals. Well, I can't do fractionals with just 1 thread down in like pierce the thread. So I made up kind of my approximation of an Algerian eye. That's what I'm going to actually learn. And this fabric is gorgeous. It's a little linen. No idea what it is. It's just a nice kind of antique-y green. So there's that. Those are my WIPs. And I wanted to finish with a tutorial. I get a lot of people, or I see a lot of people that are that have trouble threading needles and are constantly looking for needle threaders. So I was like, well, it's actually really, really, really simple. So since I already did this video once, I have to trim up my thread. Like I said, I use the Easy Guide needle because that shit's amazing. And I don't stab myself, and needles don't run up under my fingernails anymore, and that's awesome. So we're going to pan down here so I can do it in front of something black. Hopefully this works. Does that look awful? Yeah, probably. Let's do it this way. All right. So. No! Hello, hair. Okay. Here's how we're going to do it. Easy Guide needle. If I had any complaint at all, it is that little bitty eye. And that's actually most people's complaint. But would you look at the little ball on the end of it? I don't stab myself. So I'm not changing. I'm going to make this work. It's really easy. Take your thread. I loop start. So here you go, your two ends between your fingers. And just pull it down until it disappears. See? Gone. Take your needle. Put it so that the eye is going to be right where the thread is going to come through. And then just seesaw through the eye. And use your fingernail, because you know we all got them. And pull it. The end. That's it. So fucking simple. So I can thread this tiny ass needle, well, the tiny eye, no problem. Very cool. The other thing I wanted to mention, my friend Carly, Squinge Bob on Instagram, showed me a trick for how to do, I think I'm just stroking thread here. How weird is that? Anyway, showed me how to do loop start for variegated. And I was trying on those octopi to line up the colors so that I could do loop start. It just didn't work. But she told me that if you take 2 lengths of the variegated, tie the tiniest little knot in the end of it. And I am so anti-knot, do not knot. Why the fuck are you knotting something? Don't knot. No knots. But this is a lifesaver with fucking loop starting variegateds. Just tie a little knot in the end. And now you have a loop. That's it. And when you look at it on the back, you can't tell. You know how I know that? Because I did it, and I can't even find it on my own work. I did it on the octopi here. No knots. Teeny tiny. MIA. Knots. It's that simple. And then you end up with the tiny little tail. You just tuck it under your stitches like you always do. No knots. In this case, it's okay. So, anyway, lifesaver. Second thing, tutorial. Let me just show you here. First time I filmed this, I used this light pink. You couldn't see what I was doing at all. All right, so I'm going to angle back down again. Yes, that's right. That's my high school shirt from 1996. All right. A little further. Okay. These little plastic bobbins. Love them because they don't bend up like your cardboard bobbins did. But the little gouges right there are too fat. Doesn't hold your thread at all. I got really frustrated when I was changing all my threads over to these plastic bobbins because, yes, I have to have matching bobbins. And I finally figured out a way to keep the threads in. Because if you just do that, every little time that you bump it or anything, it's just going to come off. So I was like, all right, fine, fuck it. I decided to kind of almost tie it on. So what you do is you get to the length where you're like, okay, well, the next one is going to go in here. Back it up. Put your finger under it. Go around your finger, through the slot, and tuck it up under where your finger was. And when you pull it, it's going to cinch itself down. And it holds itself in there. So every time you're moving it around, putting it in the bobbin box, taking it out, carrying it around, it just locked itself in place. It's not perfect. It's going to come back up and undone, and you just do it again. But it's a hell of a lot more secure than just putting it through by itself. I'll do it one more time where I can see it just so I know that you can see. So you got this? All right. The next time I'm going to put it through that, right? Back it up. Put your finger in there. Kind of like you're doing like a Christmas bow. Put it through the slot. Go under where your finger was. Grab it. Pull. The tighter you pull it, the longer it's going to hold. But it just holds itself right there. Thanks, Dusty. Anyway, I think Grandma's home, so that's the end of my tutorials. Everybody's going to start barking and crying. So I will talk to you guys later, and stay snarky. Bye, guys.